Alright, we're going to talk about a reloading crisis, which, I've been reporting on this. I'm one of the only people that kind of report on this over the years. But the reason I'm doing this one is because I got a phone call from a friend of mine asking if I had any 7mm Mauser brass laying around I wanted to liquidate. And I said, well, no, I think I used it up and, loaded it all up, and I took it to gun shows and the flea market and got rid of it all. Okay? And something like that is a common caliber. I don't worry about keeping huge piles of it around because it's fairly common and easy to get. Well, from what he told me, I guess that is not the case. And right now, if you want to buy new, unfired 7mm Mauser brass with an internet search, there's only one company out there that I found in the whole U.S. that has normal brass for sale. That's it. Everybody else is sold out. Any of the reloading suppliers online do not have it. Some don't even list it. Okay. And I was shocked. And especially PPU brass. PPU is the company I go to for all these military calibers because they make all of them. And some of these are sold out. A quick check of graphs. I found that several of them, the one in particular which kind of shocked me too, is 7.62 by 54R is sold out, unavailable. 8mm Lavelle is available, but 8x56 Austrian for the straight pulls is not available. 7.7 Jap's available, and what else? Oh, the Swiss cartridge, the 7.5 by 55 Swiss is also unavailable. Okay, so there's some that are and some that are not. Why? I have no idea. Okay, it's kind of strange. It just makes it even more difficult to reload for these calibers. And even when, you're sitting there and saying, okay, let me load up some cartridges. I'll buy a bag of 50 or something and load some rounds up and see what I can come up with. Well, they ain't doing that at any price. And of course, on Gunbroker, everyone goes crazy, and now a once fired 7mm case, the going rate is $1 a case, plus the shipping, sales tax, everything else. Also, when you call into question with powder being as expensive, primers being expensive or hard to find, and projectiles, okay, everything has gone up in price with inflation, all right. I did a rough calculation that, loading a military cartridge with the powder, now this is just the primer, the powder, and the projectile. I'm not including the brass. It's something like a 303 British, 30-06. The 7.65 Argentine, or the 7.7 Jap, or 7.5 Swiss. They're all about in the same class, and all of these cartridges use roughly, depending on the powder, about the same amount. So you figure 45 grains of powder, and I think I calculated that out. Now that is if you buy powder in an 8-pound keg, it comes out to $60 a pound. If you're buying it in a 1-pound keg, this is going to cost you even more. Okay, because the hazmat is not divided by 8, okay, for the 1 pound of powder. A pound of powder can cost you $80 to $90, all right, but at $60, you're using 40 cents worth of powder. Primer, if you're lucky, say 10 cents, so that's half a buck right there. Projectile, the best you're going to do, unless you buy in bulk, if you're in, this is going with PPU, their stuff is usually 30 cents a projectile for all these military calibers. It's 303, 30 caliber, you know, all these others that they all come about 30, 33 cents a piece. So say 35 cents for the projectile, so now you got 85 cents just in the projectile, powder, and primer, and that is low. That's a very conservative estimate. Depending on the powder, depending how much you're paying for the primers, you may be paying upwards to 15 cents for the primers. So the cost of reloading, even if you have the brass, you know, out-of-pocket costs, not counting your labor and time, is just about what you can get for commercially loaded ammo off the shelf. It's a little bit cheaper, but you know, you're talking 20 cents, 10 cents less. All right. So even going through all the pain and trouble of reloading, you know, you might get a more accurate, customized load. You're better off just buying it. Okay, and I've never seen nothing like this. And these things are out of stock. How long it'll be, I don't know. I've seen it when last year Starline stopped making all its called Old West or cowboy action caliber cases. Stopped being made. 45-70, 50-70, 44-40, 38-40, and I think 32-20, whatever. All those old Western they just stopped making them. Period. And people, all those guys in the cowboy action shooting, or any of them people that have firearms in those older calibers, were going berserk and looking for components, and again it drove the price up, and it's just a bloodbath. Now it's kind of reversed. They kind of started production, and they're returning these calibers back in to get brass. But yeah, if you can't get brass, okay, you can't reload. That's a critical component in your reloading setup. You know, even though if you got all the powder you need, all the projectiles you need, primers, if you don't have the brass, it's kind of dead in the water. I have no idea what's causing this. I don't know how long it's going to last. I can tell you one thing for certain: whenever the stuff comes back in stock again, it's going to be more expensive. That I can guarantee you. But I don't know. I'm just putting this out there. Something that hit me. I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't realize something as common as these calibers would actually be out of stock at this time. You know, and you know, like buying thousands of empty cases and putting them away for rainy days, tying up a lot of money. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about it. But that's what's going on. All right. Hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned.